Good morning, folks from Dhaka. Joy here once again. We're gonna be doing a two-part video today. The first part of the video, I'm gonna be talking about a very personal thing, a very the story basically of how my fragrance, love for my fragrance started. The journey is on. It's gonna be on always. I'm just gonna tell you how it started, and I'm gonna be, second video I'm gonna be doing exclusive take on this particular fragrance, which is a kind of like a middle of the road, but some people like it, some people don't. It's gonna be Bulgari's Aqua Amara. Okay, so watch out for this review in the second episode, right? So in the morning, I woke up today a bit late, missed my morning walk and everything. I was not feeling all that well, but thanks to my trusted buddy, my beautiful coffee. This is like really, the coffee is the best thing that can happen to you in the morning, right? And then I felt like wearing something dark also. As you can see the pattern, I'm wearing Lanuit in the morning. It's a bit cold. Yeah, as you can see my voice a little bit out. So yeah, I'm wearing one spray of that. Beautiful stuff, really, really lifting my mood up. So okay, let's go. My fragrance journey, everybody has their story, and it's very personal thing. So people who are like not, interested in that kind of video, maybe can skip the video. But those who are like, I know, frag heads, those people who love fragrances, you have definitely like a lot of stories to tell as well, how it started. So I would love it if you could share a little bit, in short, in a comment box, how it started for you. Just as, short take, or even if you want to detail, no problem. Just tell me how it started for you. I like to hear stories like that, right? So for me, I think the fragrance I always used to, like many of you, like you guys always use fragrance in your life, right? When you're a student, young. But the thing is, back then it was not like in an educational process. Like it was not like you know the notes, you like how we look at fragrances now. The outlook was different, right? So yeah, I always used, like back in the school days. I think the school days were more like body sprays, Axe, your Old Spice, and then Charlie. Those kind of cheaper fragrances basically, because yeah, we were kids and we're not gonna buy like a excuse me, like $100 cologne and stuff. Then when you grow up in university, college days, you're gonna own that one of those bottles you start your journey with, more like Hugo Boss bottle, most likely Lacoste Puram or David of Cool Water. So, from time to time, those are the bottles on your rotation. It was in my rotation at least. So I was using them in university days like crazy. I didn't know where to spray, how many sprays to go with, or how to say, like what occasion or what season. We didn't care about seasons. We just like buy a fragrance, we just use it. It doesn't matter what the weather is, and it would be like, yeah, as long as you're smelling good, it doesn't matter, right? So that was the university days. So basically where it started from was, I think, the year 2015, early 2015. Yeah, there was like two times I went to visit my sister in UK. First time it was in London, 2012, and second time was 2015. All right, so both times were great. I mean, both the visit 2015, I visited her in Manchester. So beautiful places, both beautiful, beautiful cities, right? So 2012 I also bought few fragrances from London, but 2015, like it was more like my journey started from there itself. So I went, I was watching videos. So my first video ever, because I was doing my restaurant business, so I sometimes I'll be free, so I'll be watching some stuff. So suddenly I came across this one video. I don't know what I was thinking. Maybe I was looking for a perfume to buy or something, and then I saw this one video. One guy is like talking about Versace is the dreamer. I'm like, okay, that sounds interesting. And it is, of course, you know who it is. My fragrance guru, Mark. This guy, Robs08, he was talking about it like with so much passion. I was like, this is interesting. I have seen cooking videos before because I used to watch out for recipes. My favorite is Jamie Oliver and Gordon Ramsay. These two are gods. So I learned my basics from them. I followed them. If you don't know, I use a lot of olive oil and lemon in my cooking. That's my passion. Meat is my passion. I make burgers, steaks, and whatnot. So yeah, I had a restaurant for 3 years in Malaysia. So yeah, I closed down in 2015. So I think at that time I needed something else. So I was like watching this guy go. I'm like, someone's talking about a fragrance. We used to call them perfumes. I'm like, guy talking about perfumes, really? Let me see. And then he started talking about nose breakdown, and then he's talking about how it smells, how long it lasts. Then I started seeing it from different light. I was like, wow, I didn't think of it like that. And then I started watching one after another. I think Versace, Puram, David of Coolwater, Angelman, Fahrenheit, and as time went by, I started, discovering other reviewers. I think Mark is not gonna be happy about this. My second review to watch was Jeremy. The Jeremy is that top 10 video where he has wearing this gray suit. But the thing is, I'm gonna talk about it anyway because I believe this thing is temporary. All the reviewers are beautiful, gorgeous people, and it's gonna like sort out somehow. It's gonna go away. It's just a time being. There's no war as far as I know. So I was watching Jeremy's video and he was talking about this top 10 Bleu de Chanel, Chanel Allure Au Extreme. He says how it's like, smell me, I'm God. So yeah, and then he's like CH Man for the first time I saw, as well as I think what else was there? La Nuit de l'Homme was number one, right? So yeah, Jeremy's signature scent was La Nuit de l'Homme. So I started getting ideas. Suddenly I was like, I was a cricketer. I used to buy other stuff. I was a collector of other stuff. And then food. I used to spend a lot in food. Then I was like, okay, let's just see. And as time went by, I think I watched Steven, Drag Talk. I watched Coach Rob 619. There was, of course, I have to say Tim, one of the legendary reviewers. He doesn't review anymore. So his, I think, T Sweat Cough. Yeah, his channel is. If you guys interested, you can look into it. He was super cool and he was so passionate. I think he and Mark, those the two earlier guys who started it all. So basically, I think it was like the journey, the whole community started around 2007, somewhere there, I think. So yeah, the guys were like talking about fragrance with so much passion. And what happened for me was I started, getting into fragrances because of the way they talk. I must admit, like the way Mark talked about Lamal, I was so intrigued. I went to the mall and then I was like, let's just try it out. I heard so much good things about it because the way they speak, it you can really feel. It's like I used to have my lunch and I used to watch this guy's videos. I'm like, wow. Then I got Dolce & Gabbana the one and the Lamal, my first two purchases officially. I used to own like few other bottles at the time, but those are my first official uh, fragrance bottles, right? So I was like, it doesn't smell exactly like how they describe it, but then yeah, never mind. Just keep going. I watch so many videos. It's just crazy. I'm not didn't waste. I spent so much time on YouTube, and then I started discovering other sites. Some ladies were reviewing. There's this lady who used to review back then, doesn't review anymore. And then the whole community, how they meet up and then do their thing. They're meeting up at great boutiques and stuff, and they're like, what's your scent of the day? I see these guys like like Al, Street Sense, the gangster, like, hey, Al here, Street Sense. So I was like, okay. And then this Dan My Maker Smish, this guy was like to be like ex rocker, hard rock, like a hardcore kind of a dude. He's very cool. He's with his wife. So the thing is, I started relating myself with that. I got so much into the world. I started buying fragrances one after the other. It was like, as you guys know, I don't have any sponsors. It's just all, like I was like, when I was doing my business, it was okay. And later when I closed my business, it was very difficult. Whatever money I got, I spent it all on fragrances. No shaming admitting that. All right. And how I started purchasing, I made this list. I was watching the basically my strategy was I watched all these top reviewers talking about fragrance in the top 10, all year long, most versatile, most potent, most complimented list. I always used to take the top 5 or top 10 of each people's list, and most of the fragrances, they're like common with each one another, right? And then I was just writing them down, and I made a list of 100 fragrances that I wanted. Of course, designer. I didn't even know what designer niche, what is the distinction between the two. Of course, many of you who are entering into the game or in the game for a very long time, you guys would know how it started for you. Now, many of you got a lot of niche fragrances. That the game is changing. Back in the days were the good days, like David of Coolwater, Fahrenheit. Those are the bottles you owned. Sorry, not one. And yeah, like I was like, I need to get this fragrance. The addiction. It's the word is addiction. I cannot say it in a better way. Like if you guys know, if you guys get into chocolates and stuff, sugary, sort of like an addiction. fragrance is an addiction, because if you smell something good and you know about the notes breakdown, you're learning as you go, you'll know, you feel like tempted, you'll be like, okay, does it smell, do I discover this new thing in this, is it a must buy, oh, this one doesn't smell like anything else, so let's buy this. So I used to save up, plan, I do my research, like write down three possible buys, and I just go to the mall, sniff 1,000 fragrances. So I suggest, if those who are getting into the game, do this thing, invest some time instead of just money. Go to the mall, smell 1,000 fragrances, even if they are your typical run-in-the-mill designer fragrances and whatnot. Keep smelling. If you smell a few hundred fragrances, you're gonna be having some ideas. What is quality? What is not? What is this fragrance smell like? Is it a summer freshy or is it colder weather fragrance? You're gonna start having ideas. So when you sniff, it's like you're studying fragrances, like reading books. So I smell at least few hundred. I'm not gonna say thousands because I didn't get access to so many, but hundreds definitely. I smelled everything from all the popular designer houses, even the not very popular ones. I also tried Gucci, Prada, Versace, Lacoste, whatever they had in the house. I tried them all on my skin from time to time, on paper, on my clothes, and then see how long they last. So I did my work. So not basically work. I invested my time because this is my passion. This is something I love, right? Just like many of you. So I used to write down top three, and then I just do research. I just keep watching all the reviews. First of all the reviews, all the top reviews out there, and I'll be like craving for them. Then I go to the mall, I try it on my skin, and I smell it for a while, and then I'll be like, thinking how it's transforming. Is it my thing? Do I need to buy this? Because I am on a budget, right? Many of you are on budget, so you guys know. Excuse me. So every time, like there was hardly any time I would buy like every day, but every week there was time I used to buy. The addiction got so bad. It's terrible. It's like I couldn't resist. I would find ways. I was doing odd jobs. I was like cricket coach. I was doing deliveries. I was taking excuse me, like weird things, like I was to pick up orders for people, like if they were asking me, you're a chef, so would you like to cater for us? I was like, yeah, sure, I would do anything to make that money to go buy fragrances. That's my part of the story. And if someone give me a gift or something, I said, don't give me a gift, if you possible give me the cash, I want to buy something. Or I just take them, like, let's go buy something. My uncles would come and be like, let's go buy, I want to buy a perfume. They're like, you crazy, you know that? And I'm like, yeah. So yeah, so that's basically my story. I own somewhat like 120 recently, and I gave away a few, so I narrowed down to 100 now. I have few yeah, around 100 ish bottle. I gave some to my dad, some to my friends, but the ones I really absolutely want to keep, I kept them, right? So yeah, the journey basically was always like this. It's like always about the love. I would just run to, the excitement. I used to own this huge car like MPV, and then in going to places was not easy. I'm telling you one thing, just sharing. The car used to take a lot of fuel, and fuel is not exactly cheap. So yeah, it was difficult. I had my friend. I had one special friend who used to help me, like, going to places, like, you can borrow my car, or she would take me and stuff. So yeah, she even gifted me fragrances. So yeah, basically, yeah. So the whole journey was like this. So it's been like now 2 years, almost 2 years. And then, now I know in and out of a lot of fragrances. If you ask me, I know them. I don't even have to look at the notes. I just can look at the bottle and like, oh, it has this note of raspberry, it has the note of cardamom maybe, or it has the note of incense, oud, tonka bean. I just know back in my head because I watched them so many times. So yeah, and then one point, what happened was I collected almost all my 100 fragrances, except a few, like the few ones that are not, they're discontinued. I cannot get them anymore. I still keep them in my list. I have around 20-ish bottle to buy. Then my wish list would be complete. And of course, it's never complete. It's like it goes on. You find something else and start craving for something new. But then in my list, I have like 20-ish, like Ankara Noir. I cannot find it in Malaysia or here because this discontinued. They're not found here. Pure Malt is on my top list. What else? Narciso Rodriguez, for him. That one's bit expensive in Malaysia. What else? I want to get I think Juicy Couture. There's one Dirty English from the house, English Laundry, something. There are few bottles I want to buy. So yeah, I made the list, and then they're there. The dream is there to get all the bottles I want. And then at a certain point, I feel like, I want to get into this reviewing thing. It's so much fun, and I was very shy. I'm not a camera person, So I started doing those. My camera was so bad. I started, never mind. I just started doing my top 10, top 20 summer, and then my top 10 of all time. So I got like huge backlash because I was shy. Like people were like, hey, shit, look at your video quality is so bad. What are you talking about? You're not even, you're repeating yourself and you're showing your hands, blah, blah. But on the other side, there are a lot of people in the community. I used to post in this group, Steven's group, Adolescence, and I met Mr. Patrick. I met a lot of these nice guys, Ed Samir. I can't remember all the names right now, but then the kind of support I got from the group is awesome. And then I started, because I know I'm not doing a professional work, I'm just using my phone and whatnot to record. But then as time went by, I got more, how to say, desperate or something. I don't know. I got really, really into this whole thing, reviewing thing, and it really like it is working like a therapy for me. And then on the way, I made friends with Chad, Carlos, and then they are all like these awesome guys. They're in my friends list. It's like a dream. I was talking to Steven a few days back, Carlos live. I was asking them questions. These are the things I would be thinking in my dreams. Like these are something we people who love fragrances dream of. So my dream is kind of coming true, and then slowly they're coming one by one. So the kind of bottles, at one point I thought like, I'm never gonna have enough money to buy all my fragrances that I want. La Nuit, Bleu de Chanel, they're expensive. Let me tell you one other thing. I noticed people buying Creed Aventus online. They're like around $100 something. I spent $100 something on designer fragrances. By the time, if I was in States, if I had TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Ross, lucky like you people, I'll be owning like 300 bottles by now. But then I don't care. I don't have any regrets. Seriously speaking, I'm not ashamed because the kind of money I spent, I believe they're well worth. And the thing is, last night I was talking to my fragrance guru Mark. Many of you hate him, and he's like a love it or hate it guy reviewer. But then it's the emotional attachment is there because it started all with his videos. So and he's that good. He started the community. He's that good. He did the hard work, and now he's working with Fragrance X something.net. He has partnership. So see, the years of hard work, they never go in vain. It come true. My personal thing is I don't wanna be like make doing this for money or the business or, but the things I would like to work with certain companies, learn about notes, fragrances. My dream is there. I would like to work in a departmental store, maybe in the perfume section. So tell people like, okay, about the skin chemistry, talk to them, interact with the customers, tell them, what I know. So yeah, someday the dream is there. Last night I was talking to Mark. I asked him like, he was on live. I was like, I couldn't hold my excitement. I keep asking him questions and questions. So I was asking him like, what's your top three favorite designer fragrance of all time? And he told me like, first thing he told me, I think it was, of course, Lamal is his signature. Then he talked about Amen. Then he talked about DHI, and I got so happy because I own all three. So some of you were like, yeah, that's designers, right? What's big deal? It's a big deal to me because that's all I can afford for the time being, and that's what we actually have access to. Maybe someday if I move to States or Canada or New Zealand, Australia, UK, if someday I visit, that will be more within our reach, right? So cannot exactly, we have a lot of barriers, cannot try out a lot of fragrances, ordering online is hectic, shipping is hectic to Bangladesh, where this part of the world we don't have any shops, or you don't have any, we do have shops but then don't have any boutiques and whatnot. So we cannot exactly try out fragrances also. So we're living in that difficult condition, but thank God I lived in Malaysia, so I got at least most of my bottles I wanted, right? So yeah, when I look at them, really make me happy. So yeah, it's like I can see, if you, I tell you one last thing before I go, if you really are true to one thing, like if you really love one thing, doing one thing, you're gonna always find happiness. You're gonna, if you stay true to your passion, you can never go wrong. Maybe you don't know how it's gonna work out for you. Maybe I have this dream someday I'm gonna be, you know now I'm like part of the community in a way. Like I have almost 1,000 subscribers. So holla at you. Thank you very much for showing me the love, giving me the thumbs up, watching and commenting. It's like I have a army or a family of my own, even though people have like 25,000 and whatnot. To me, 1,000, it's a big number. All right. So yeah, you can see, if you keep working and you invest your time, I tell you, like you invest your time behind fragrances, you go and sniff out new stuff, it's always going to be something is going to make you happy. You, even if you're having a tough day, you can come to this, you know, you're gonna be cheered up. Even if you don't have friends, trust me, you're gonna have so much more, you know. Yep, because the smell, you can relate your memories with the smell. Recently saw this one last story. I tell you, one guy, he posted about you right. Where's my you It's somewhere there. I can, oh yeah, here it is. Just show you this particular fragrance, you many of you hate it, you're like sweet mess and whatnot. But then, this guy was sharing like, this is his memory, like when his parents got separated or divorced, and he was having a tough time, and he was going to see his mom on the Greyhound bus and stuff. His father was wearing this, and he's like, his father passed away. I was reading that, I was watching, I mean, I was reading his comment, and I somehow the tears just came out. I could feel so much love. He misses his dad. That's how fragrance talk to you in real life. That's what the magic is. Because I can, when I wear Hugo Boss bottle myself, I can think of all those good days. My first girlfriend, we had like such a nice history for such a long time. We had dates and whatnot. All these memories, just immediately come back to me, and all those memories, they're like reopened. So yeah, fragrance has that. So you create memories, you create that certain experience. You remember a lady by her perfume. You remember how she smelled like, right? Or your friend, good days of life, university days. So yeah, so journey is always on. There's never a destination for me. It's always an ongoing journey. So despite all the, sometimes I feel the backlash, sometimes it's a bit challenging, people saying negative stuff. So at first I used to get upset and stuff. It still gets me upset, but I don't react anymore. I just simply, block, just block them and delete comments. It's okay. Let's just be positive, right? So just want to talk about this few things, my journey in short. And I know many people will be like, please do give us something else, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Just was telling you my part of the story, why I'm doing this. And then I'm doing this also because when I started collecting, I was looking for reviews which would tell me, not just the notes. It's, if someone tell you the note, many people don't know what bubblegum smells like, or what are the notes that's, like orange note or maybe rose. I know how the original rose smells like, but what is it like in the perfume world? All right. So yeah, I was just giving them some idea. I wanted some idea when I was collecting, like, okay, what occasion, or okay, someone's like, what does it feel like? Does it feel like the sea? Does it feel like a real grapefruit, or does it feel like a jasmine flower, lily of the valley? So you try to incorporate with real world with the fragrance. How to relate those two worlds. How do they really smell like? Can you wear this? What experiences these people have? Just want to share my stories with people, so people have some ideas. So that's why I talk with detail. Most of my videos are long because of that. I tell a story. I just don't review. I'm not a reviewer. I am a storyteller. Okay, that's what I feel my identity is. I do it in a very non-conventional way and very bit boring way. But then people who really love fragrances, I think you appreciate it. I know the comments. Okay, and the thing is, one last thing before I go, I know many comments. There's one part, I was moving from Malaysia to Bangladesh. Many of the people commented on my channel, on my videos, but I didn't bring my laptop with me, so I forgot my password to the my channels. I couldn't get back to many comments. I am trying to get back to all your comments because I love reading them and love replying to them. Believe it or not, I'm gonna get back to all your comments. All right, I'm gonna reply. Don't think I am ignoring. I saw one brother from Nepal. He was like, do you ever read your comments? I do, my friend, I do. I'm so sorry, but I love interacting with you people. Mr. Matsy, the man out there, I really like him. Just mentioning it just came to my mind also. I like his style. And Joshua, brother Joshua, how are you doing, bro? So all of you, I love talking to you, right? So I'll get back to all the comments, and then I will reply to all right? So wait for my next video. I hope you do share with me your story, your fragrance journey. How is it going? Where you are? How many bottles you want to get someday? And then yeah, what does it mean to you? So I hope to hear from you, right? So wait for the next second episode. I'll be talking about the amazing fragrance Aqua Amara. Take care, guys. Have a nice day. See you soon.